Here I am sitting in the lobby of this dental implant center who claims that they can change your life in 24 hours, and this could be it. I was Mr. Skeptical. I was thinking, is this place real? Do they just want my money? How are they able to do this in 24 hours?
Ever wonder what really happens inside a dental implant consultation? Well, today I'm here with Bishop, who clicked an ad and then found himself walking into one. All right, Bishop, well, let's start at the beginning of your dental implant journey. What happened that led you to your consultation?
So I had teeth issues for many years, and every time I would go and see a dentist, their band-aid remedy was to just pull the tooth. And so after so long, it had gotten to the point to where I had missing teeth on both sides, one up, one down, and it really just became difficult for me to even enjoy some of my favorite foods.
Were you in a lot of pain?
Constantly. I learned to work through pain. I was always in pain. I would wake up in pain. I would go to bed in pain. I would be at work in pain. Many OTC over-the-counter pain relievers throughout the day just to be able to continue doing whatever it is I had to do. So after going for months, maybe even years of not being able to chew or and properly enjoy some of my favorite foods, I started doing some research and looking into the different companies that offer dental implants or dentures, and I wasn't sure what I wanted at the time. And I didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of cleaning dentures and taking out your teeth and cleaning them and doing all that other stuff. So I said, well, dental implants would probably be the way to go. And I researched company after company after company and had done so for probably close to a year, just, trying to gather answers and trying to see what I can find out. I sought out people who may have had things done, but I still was a little on the fence, and if I'm being honest, financially, I wasn't even able to even consider trying to get something like that done. And one day an ad came across my phone. I was on social media and an ad came across my phone and I was propelled to follow it.
When you say propelled to follow it, describe this ad for me. What was it that popped up on your phone?
So this was a Nuvia ad that popped up on my phone. And it was real short, real sweet. Hey, would you like to change your smile within 24 hours? Or would you like to, have a new way of life, without having to go through what some of the other companies may take you through? If that's the case, then take this 60-second quiz. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, right.
Oh, so you were skeptical at first.
Very skeptical. From the time I first saw that ad to the time I walked through the door at my first consultation, I was Mr. Skeptical.
Like that,
Mr.
Mr.
Skeptical with a capital
Skeptical.
M.
Okay, so you obviously were dealing with dental pain and missing teeth, and that was a way of life for many months, almost a year, did you say, or many?
I
What did?
if I looking back on it, I'd say it was probably about a year, close to a year and a half. It got to the point that it was very embarrassing and uncomfortable. And soon I started to notice myself actually covering my smile all the time. When you're in pain, it changes you, like mentally, physically, emotionally. When you're going through some type of pain, it absolutely changes you. And when the pain is emanating from a point that people see you every day, like when it's coming from inside your mouth, and you have to use your mouth to talk to people, to conduct business, to interact with other people. When you have to put on an act or put on a front just to make it through the day, and no one knows that that's what you're going through, it absolutely changes you. It changes who you are mentally. It changes who you are emotionally. It physically changes you into something that you might not necessarily want to be. And I actually took notice. I noticed that I wasn't myself around others, family members, even friends, close friends. I noticed that I wasn't the happy, jovial person that I once was. And so I knew something had to take place. I knew a change had to take place, and that's when I started actively doing the research into dental implants and what's going to be the best for me. I'm a spiritual person, so I prayed and prayed and prayed. Lord, send me an answer, send me a solution. Take this away from me. Like by next Christmas, I want my two front teeth. And so that
Oh.
that became a reality for me for a very long time.
Well, walk us through what happened after you clicked that ad for Nuvia. You said that a quiz popped up and you said it was a 60-second quiz. So, walk me through what kind of questions were on that quiz. What did it ask you? And was it really a 60-second quiz?
It may have been a 50-second quiz because if I can recall, it really wasn't that many questions at all. They basically wanted some basic demographics. They're like, are you currently experiencing any dental pain? Well, how old are you? How long have you been experiencing these pain? Are you unable to eat certain foods? Do you find yourself covering your mouth? And when are you ready to do something about it? Those were the types of questions that were on the quiz, if I can recall. And it honestly, it didn't take long to fill out at all. Skeptical as I was, I went ahead and did it. That was the first thing I saw. Take the 60 seconds. So I said, all right, fine, I'll take the 60-second quiz. I'm already doing the research. You know what I mean? I might as well see what they have to offer. And I answered all of those questions truthfully to the best of my ability. And if you're listening and you'd like to take the same quiz I took, click the link in the description below.
Well, you took the quiz. You said it took maybe even less than 60
hmm
seconds.
hmm
Then what happened?
So after I took the quiz, they're like, thank you for your time. Someone will reach out and be in contact with you. It wasn't even 48 hours later. I think I took the quiz like on a weekend. By Monday morning, I'm on my way to work. My phone rings. Hi, this is this person from Nuvia. And we saw that you took our 60-second quiz. We'd like to schedule you for a consultation. I'm like, stop playing. Please stop playing with me. That was way too fast. I just took that thing just the other night. Like, come on.
You're like, I
And
took the 60-second quiz 60 minutes ago and you're already calling,
exactly, that's
basically.
exactly what it felt like. That is exactly what it felt like. And so I said, yeah, I took the quiz. And she's like, well, what did you think? Are you ready to come in for a consultation? I'm like, well, what do I have to do? And where are you guys located? She told me where they were located. It was literally like minutes away from where I live. Um, she told me what all I had to do to schedule the consultation. And I'm like, all right, fine, let's go for it. So after I spoke with the lady and agreed that I would come in for the consultation, that's when she explained to me that there would be a small deposit to hold the consultation time slot, my time slot. And I'm like, okay, here we go. They just want my money. How much is this going to be? Am I going to get it back? What's going on here? And sure enough, I think she told me what the deposit was. It's been a while ago, but I think it was somewhere. I know it was under $100. So I thought, that it's not too bad. I can do this, but do I really want to take the time to drive all the way up here to this office and it be a fluke or they not give me my money back?
Now, how far in advance was this consultation going to be? How long did you have to wait for that appointment?
Not long at all, to be honest with you. When she called me back and I agreed to do it, they literally had time slots open. She let me know everything that was available throughout that week. And
Oh,
so I'm
wow.
like, well, if I'm going to do this, let's do it, you know?
Okay, so you got your consultation scheduled within a week of that phone call.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about that week. What kind of fears were going through your head?
I have to be honest, it was a little nerve-wracking because at that point I couldn't do anything else but research Nubia. And I wanted to see, is it really done in 24 hours? How are these people able to go in one day and their teeth are all jacked up and come out the next day with $1 million smile? I needed to know for myself. And so I kind of was a little restless. I could hardly wait to get to the consultation because I needed to see for myself at this point. Skeptical as I was, I needed to see for myself.
So, a very emotional week leading up to your consultation, all the emotions, fear, anxiety, but also a little bit of excitement and hesitation. Walk us through what actually happened when you walked into the Nuvia office on the day of your consultation.
I'm so glad you asked me that. Okay, so I park, right? I park my car, I get out of my car, and I take a deep breath. All right, here we go. Let's at least go in here and get my money back. Woosah. Go
Okay.
in. walking to the office, and as soon as I walked into the office, um, it was unlike any other dental office I had ever walked into. There were a couple patients waiting in the lobby area. As soon as I walked in, the receptionist, she called me by my name instantly. And the first thing she did was ask me for some information to get me checked in. They immediately, first thing, immediately refunded my deposit. So I was impressed with that. She asked me
Nice.
if I'd like to have a seat. Hey, there's some bottled water over there in that cooler. I went over to the cooler, grabbed a small bottle of water, and I sat down. And just looking around, like the lobby itself was inviting. There were like warm, pretty neutral colors. It wasn't anything crazy like soap operas or Jerry Springer on the TV. The TV was on, but it was all Nuvia testimonials. There were people on the screen telling their story and explaining their dental journey and what they had gone through. I remember seeing a lady, I believe her name is Sharala, on the screen. I remember seeing another testimonial from a guy named Duncan and a guy named Ricky. So I'm looking at these different people on the screen, and they're all telling their testimonials about what they had gone through and what they had experienced in their dental journey. And then they all found Nubia. And it was just smile after smile after smile. Before I could even get engrossed into all of the testimonials that I'm seeing, someone comes from behind the door and calls me by my name, and she's smiling. And I mean, it literally, by the time I got called back there, I felt so comfortable that I was actually in my element. Let the games and shenanigans begin. Because, like I said earlier, I'm a jokester. I'm a little bit of a prankster. So, I got to teasing everyone. So it was great. I had a really great experience just walking through the door.
Well, I can tell just from this conversation that you are a very fun, jovial guy who likes to have fun, joke around, crack jokes. So I
Absolutely.
love to hear that in a dental office of all places,
Of all
you were
places.
feeling at ease enough to do that. Because I know, like many people listening, like myself, like yourself, going to the dentist can be nerve wracking. I actually have a dental cleaning this week and I am not looking forward to it. Every time I go, it's, oh, you got this here or this is here. Or I think this might need a little repair. Like it is nerve wracking to go to the dentist. So to hear that you were just having fun, you were smiling, you felt comfortable, that's a big deal.
Within seconds, within minutes of me walking through the door, like I could feel the skepticism just melting away. And honestly, I didn't know how to feel about that. Do I want to remain hostile? Do I want to remain skeptical? Or do I want these people to help me and do something about my teeth? But the more I sat there in that office, the more I saw the staff walking around and helping people and doing what it is they do, the more comfortable I became.
Well, Bishop, it is time for you to take us into that consultation room with you.
Okay.
Open those doors, close them behind you. We all want to know what exactly happened inside that consultation room. Were there tests? Did you get any scans? Was it painful? What did they tell you about your teeth? Did they tell you if you could have this procedure done? Tell us all the secrets.
Oh my God, are you ready for this?
I am
They
ready.
closed that door behind me, and I can assure you, I didn't see one needle. Oh my God, mind blown, right? Not one needle. They immediately wanted to take a few pictures just to get an inside look at what was going on inside my mouth. So they took me to one location in the back and immediately just started taking pictures. And like, here, hold on to this, hold on to that, look this way, look that way. All right, we'll pull your jaw a little bit longer. And they literally took pictures with a nice, I don't know if it was a Nikon or a Canon, but it was a nice camera. But they immediately started taking pictures of the inside of my mouth. And from there, we did x-rays. And they're like, okay, here. They're very clean, very sterile. I was impressed by all of this. They had the little throwaway caps. They're like, you got to bite down on this and just hold your head still, don't move. And they ran a little machine around my head and took x-rays. And once they did that, and sat down and took all the pictures that they needed. They're like, okay, all right, you can go have a seat in the lobby. Wait, just a second. What do you mean? No cleaning, no swab. We're not doing anything with the teeth themselves today? Like what's going on? And she's like, no, you can have a seat in the lobby. Someone will call you back in just a second. So I'm like, okay, all right. Still back there joking with the staff, getting to know some of the staff and everything. And I'm like, all right, they took pictures, they took x-rays. I didn't have to get any shots or anything like that. So that's amazing. And so there I was, on my way back out. They're like, just go have a seat in the lobby for a second. Someone will be with you shortly. And I'm like, okay, cool. I walked out the door and I just sat back down in the lobby where I was sitting before. And drinking a bottle of water, looking up at some of the patient testimonials on the screen. And it got to the point to where I actually found myself tearing up a little and getting a little emotional because here I am sitting in the lobby of this dental implant center who claimed that they can change your life in 24 hours. And this could be it. This really could be it. I may never have to experience another toothache again or another sleepless night again. And so I was excited, and I could feel the skepticism kind of, melting away, but I genuinely was excited while I was sitting there in the lobby. So I had to compose myself. I had to get myself together. And no sooner than I did I believe the gentleman's name was Andy, but Andy called me back to his office to talk to me about my results and what they found in the pictures and the x-rays. And what they found shocked me.
So, what happened next?
They show you markups of what you're going to look like with a new smile. They showed me what my x-rays look like, and they showed me, well, with a new smile, this is how you could look. So I actually saw my teeth in my mouth before I actually walked out the door. And I'm like, okay, that's subliminal. And that's genius because for the rest of my life or until I get this done, I'm going to walk around with that vision of what I saw in my head. And that's exactly what it was. He sat down, he showed me the x-rays, he showed me the markups, and he gave me some information about the company. He gave me some information about the some of the patients, and he's like, "Well, do you have any questions for me?" Every few questions, he would stop and ask, "Do you have any questions for me?" And I'm like, "Okay." How many offices does Nuvia have? How long have you guys been around? How long have you worked here? Do you know anyone personally who's had this done? Do you recommend this to anyone? And I just started hitting him with a whole bunch of
You
questions. And
came with the questions. That's
and he's
great,
literally
though.
trying to keep up with me at this point
Like, who's
because
interviewing who, or
it
who's
was
in
rapid
charge
fire.
here?
Yes, exactly. Who's interviewing who?
Okay, so up until this point, he shared with you that you're a candidate. He showed you pictures of you with what your new smile could look like. And you said he talked about the procedure itself.
Mhm.
Did he explain the procedure in that 24-hour scenario that you had seen in the ad?
As a matter of fact, he did. He literally told me, so once we schedule your smile design and we take care of all of the red tape, we're going to set you up with a date to come in for surgery. We strongly suggest that you bring someone with you who will be able to drive you home because you're not going to be able to drive, obviously, after having a major oral surgery. And then you're going to come back the next day and we're going to put your smile in. And so that's what I had to go by. So I'm like, let me repeat this just to make sure I have it correct.
Okay, so just like the ad promised.
Just like the ad promised, permanent teeth in 24 hours. Mind blown.
Phew. Where's your skepticism now? How are you feeling now?
My skepticism is in my back pocket. I carry it with me everywhere I go, just in case, unless I happen to stop by a Nuvia office. No need for it there.
So, a free consultation and permanent teeth 24 hours after surgery. Bishop, you are answering so many questions that I know our listeners and our viewers have. And there's a big question that I think I need to ask you next.
Okay.
And that is about the cost of this procedure. Did you get a price when you went in for your consultation?
Absolutely. I absolutely got the price. Andy was very forthcoming and let me know what my price would be for my situation and for my dental implants. And then he also gave me a variety of payment options and financing options to for me to decide, which would better suit me. And at the same time that he was giving me the list of my financing options, he pretty much had already run the information and let me know which ones I was qualified for.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, well, let's do it then. Let's do it. I thought about it for a while. He wrote down everything for me on a piece of paper and said, okay, well, this company here is one of the best ones. You also have the option to go with this company, this company, this company. So he gave me a list of options of which companies I could choose to be financed through and how much they would approve me for. So I thought that was a game changer in itself because I didn't have to do the work. I didn't
Nice.
have to do the math at all.
Nice. So you got an all inclusive price, and then
hmm
you also got the option to finance. Did you
hmm
end up paying in full or did you end up financing?
I ended up financing because it was the best option for me at the time.
How does that make you feel to know that you were able to do it and that Nuvia also just helped with that process?
Best decision ever, for me anyway. And I hope, someone listening decides to go ahead and take the plunge and it'll be the best decision for them as well because um, I couldn't be happier with the results. I walked out of that office with a newfound sense of confidence that day, just looking at the markup photos of myself and wondering what I would actually look like. And to know that it could all be done within 24 hours was absolutely mind blowing. I can't stop saying that word, but it was. To the point to where I couldn't think of anything else. I went home thinking about Nubia. I got on my phone and looked up a couple of Nuvia ads. I was all over YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. If Nuvia had an ad on it, I was looking at it. And I went through and just read everyone else's testimonials and watched everyone else's testimonials and got teared up and emotional all over again. And this was day one. By day two,
Oh,
by day three, I had no more tears left to cry. Who is that? Ariana Grande? No more tears left to cry at all. But
this
I
is
was,
cool. This is so,
I
wait,
was,
I got to say this, Bishop. You went from skepticism, literally nerve wracking skepticism, to excitement, mind blowing excitement that they could
yes,
actually do this 24 hours after surgery. And you
sure,
haven't even had the procedure done. So you've already
exactly.
like had the gamut of emotions. Let me ask you an important question though.
Okay.
A lot of different places offer dental implants. Like, let's be real. So, what happened at your consultation with Nuvia specifically that made you confident in getting the implants there? I know you touched on 24 hours and the time frame of getting permanent teeth, but there had to be other things that made you say this is the right place for me.
A number of things happened, Marissa. First of all, I learned at my consultation that I would be getting my permanent zirconias. So that, not temporaries, but my permanent teeth, so that was one contributing factor. I learned that there's a team of doctors at every Nuvia location. And what is it? Certified registered nursing assistants. Like there's a whole team of people together with the team of doctors. I also learned that they had the payment plans. I also learned that I would be able to eat soft foods for a short temporary time. So it's not like I would be on a liquid diet after I walked out 24 hours later. I would be able to eat soft foods, I mean, who else can say that about their dental implant provider? They walk in, they treat you like family, they take good care of you. They're forthcoming and upfront about everything you need to know about your own situation and your own health.
Well, I want to circle back on something that you shared at the start of our talk. And
Okay.
that was walking into the Nuvia office on the day of your consultation, full
hmm
of skepticism, hoping you'd get your deposit back.
hmm
And this woman's face, popped up on the screen. I think you said her name was Sharala. You said you
Sharala.
also saw a Duncan and a Ricky. Is
hmm
it true that you've actually talked with and met some of these people after your surgery?
It is absolutely true. I actually get an opportunity to talk with and interact with Sharala, Ricky, Duncan, and a few other Smile Maker, Nuvia patients, especially because of the group. The Smile Maker, there's a Smile Maker club, and it's at last I checked, it was like over 77,000 members strong. I don't remember where it was when I first started. If I had known that there was a Smile Maker Club at the start of my research, then I may have been able to get this done sooner. But there's an entire community with Nuvia of people who are either looking to get this done or have just gotten it done or somewhere along the lines in this process. And like they help each other, like they trade recipes, they encourage you, they root for you, they are there to just spread love and information for those who need it. And I wish that well, I know the resource was available at the time that I got my procedure done. I just wish I had known about it a little bit sooner. It's a great community.
And is that the Facebook community that you're speaking of, right? The Smile
It
Maker
is
Club is on
the Smile
Facebook.
Maker Club on Facebook. Yeah, it's a great community and a great place to go if you just want some reassurance, want to have some of your questions answered. If you just need to see what others are doing or where they are in their journey, it's great. I would absolutely start there after the 60-second quiz, of course. But
Where can people find that 60-second quiz again?
you can find that 60-second quiz in the link below. You
Whoop,
know.
whoop. Yeah. I mean, here's what's crazy. It was a 60-second quiz that you said even took less than that. And now
Yes.
we fast forward. How long have you had your dental implants now?
I've had my dental implants for just a little over 2 years, as a matter of fact. It'll be three in August. So almost 3 years.
So, a 60-second quiz, fast forward almost 3 years. Do you feel like you made the right choice? Is there anything you would have done different?
I absolutely feel like I made the right choice. If there was anything that I had to do differently, it would have been to join the Smile Maker Club community on Facebook a little bit sooner. That way I could have my own recipes and get my own answers as I was doing this year-long worth of research with other companies. If I had known that the Smile Maker Club was out there before I found Nuvia, I think it would have been hands down an easier decision for me to make. And I probably might not have been so skeptical. So if you happen to work at my local Nuvia office and I walked in and gave you a hard time, I want to take this time to apologize because you guys are completely awesome and have all made me feel like a part of the family. So I certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Ronnie, if you're out there somewhere, okay, I love you, I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. You helped change my life. So thank you. I specifically hope that this helps someone jump off the fence and make the decision to choose Nuvia because there are so many people out there who are in different places with their dental journey, but we're all connected. We're all bonded by the fact that we want better oral health. And I'm so glad to have found and ran across that ad. As skeptical as I was, hindsight being 2020, I'm so glad to have run across that ad and decided to take the 60-second quiz and decided to go in for the free consultation and decided to let Nuvia change my life. I'm so glad. Like I wouldn't change a thing.